Alright everyone, we'll need to speed up a little bit, so everybody be a little attentive. We'll move to the next file, Mathematical Functions Part 2. Everybody open the next file, Mathematical Functions Part 2, quickly. Mathematical Functions Part 2. Mathematical Functions Part 2, it's in the same folder, Mathematical Functions. Alright, control page down, we move to the next sheet. Control page down, we move to the next sheet. Everyone with me? Control page down, we move to the next sheet. Sum product, that's the first sheet. Now, it might not be a very useful function, to be very honest. Deliberately I kept a function over here in order to show that there are so many functions in Excel. There are about 400 functions in Excel. Of course, we are not going to be covering everything, and of course, you're not going to be using everything. But the idea is that you should be in a position to Google up a function or to, go through the definition, the description of the function and be able to apply it yourself also. At least for some easy ones, you can definitely do that. So how do we go about it? When you type sum product, now say for example, what I need over here is, there's a quantity of these raw materials are given over here. And the price per item is also given over here. So when you do a quantity into price, you get the value of the inventory, that is this cell into this cell. Now how do you do that? Double click. F2 is the button, F2 is the key for your double click. So in case you want to type or edit something over here, you will never be able to type inside it, you will have to overwrite it. So once you type something on this on the cell, it does not start after that, because when you're using MS Word or PPT, you start typing after that word wherever your cursor is. But if you want to type inside the cell, you need to press function 2. Your function 2 F2 button might not be working on your laptops. You have to press Fn and then F2, because maybe like my F2 key is for light. My F2 key is for light, brightness, and let's say volume or something, right? So if you want to use the function key, I have to use an F2 key. So F2 works for double click. F2 works for double click. Everybody with me on the screen, on my screen please. So the moment you click F2, it shows you what's inside the cell. Now Excel is showing equals to and a plus sign both, because probably when I was typing this formula, I wrote it with a plus sign and Excel automatically put an equal to sign for me, because we start the function name with either an equal to or a plus sign, correct? Now, also if you would notice, I10 is blue in color and J10 is red in color, and similarly your cells over here, because it becomes easier to identify which cell you are working on. So you get your inputs very, very easily visible on the screen. So it's always color coded that way. So your value of inventory is simply quantity into price, and that gives you the value of inventory. Very, very simple, very basic. But, so if I want the total value of inventory, I press Alt equals to and I get the summation 16,890. That's simple. You do the summation and you get 16,890 over here. You do the summation and your work is done. Just a moment. Yeah. So when you're looking at this function 16,890, so what if I don't want to do so much of hard work and get the valuation in this manner? I don't want to create another column. Let's say for example, delete this column. Now how do I do it so quickly? Control spacebar is a shortcut for selecting a column. Control minus is deleting it. So you have to get very, very comfortable with the shortcuts. That is going to be your speed by the end of the session. And that needs to be your speed. You just need to get into a little bit of practice over here, right? So we'll do these shortcuts a little later. Let me stick to what I'm doing. So control spacebar, selecting a column. Shift spacebar is selecting row. Control spacebar, C for control, C for column. C for column. Control spacebar selecting column. Shift spacebar is selecting row. Control spacebar, you select a column. Control minus is delete. Control plus is add. Control minus is delete. Control plus is add. For someone, if control plus is not working, that's because you're doing control equals to. So if you want to do a control plus, you have to do a control shift equals to, then it will work as a control plus. So control plus would be, if you're using the number pad, control plus works. But if you're using the plus equals to button, you have to key, then you'll have to do a control shift equals to, because that is control plus. So inserting is plus, control plus, deleting is control minus. And control shift spacebar, control plus, control minus. So control plus, control minus is add or delete. Control spacebar, C for control, C for column, shift spacebar selecting a row. Control spacebar selecting a column, shift spacebar selecting a row. So you select the column, you insert, you delete. You select a row, you insert, you delete. It's very simple. Control plus control minus is delete or add. Control plus of course add, control minus delete, insert and delete, and control spacebar is selecting a column, shift spacebar is selecting the row. Is everybody comfortable till here? Everyone? Alright, on my screen please, everyone, on my screen. Now suppose I don't want to create a column with price into quantity and then get the total. If I want to directly go ahead with it, I type equals to some product. I type equals to sum, I scroll down to some product, and the description tells me it returns a sum of products of the corresponding ranges or arrays. So there will be two ranges that I am supposed to select, and it will give me the range 1 into range 2. It will multiply the corresponding values, sum it up the product, and give it to me as the answer. I am not going to type so much. Press tab, the function name is typed, bracket is opened up. I select this range, control shift arrow down, comma, that is array 1. So multiply this range with the corresponding this range and enter, and I get the answer immediately. Now it might not be a very useful formula. The reason why I'm doing it is so that you can start typing sum and some product, some SQ, some X2, Y2. You can start using these shortcuts and do it. You can start applying these kind of shortcuts. So some product, you press tab and your array is over here. Is everybody comfortable till here? Right? So some product formula, you need this range, array range 1, comma, range 2, and press enter. Sorry, something went wrong. Some product, range 1, comma, range 2, and it works. You have to make sure that if in the first range you've selected 5 values, the second range has to be 5 values. If it is 6 values, it will not work because you will no longer have corresponding ranges. It will not work because you will not have corresponding ranges. So array 1, array 2 or range 1, range 2 should have the same number of cells. Everybody okay till here? Quickly try this. Quickly try this, I'll repeat it. Alright, everyone comfortable? We'll move forward. Alright, I've just deliberately included one more in the same sheet. If you see, we want to find out the total value of inventory for these values are given. Now, in the next column, I've got a false and true value given over here in Excel. Let me just try and apply the sum product and then I'll explain. So let me do a sum product formula. Everyone on the screen, let me do a sum product formula wherein I'm selecting this range and this as the corresponding range. Let me see the answer. The answer is 0. It's not supposed to be 0. The answer is 275. Now what's happening over here is when you're looking at these values, a true value indicates 1 as per Excel and false is going to indicate 0. So a true represents 1 in Excel and a false is going to represent 0 on Excel. So a true means 1 and a false is represented as 0. So in the sum product formula, I just start with a double dash because that's going to treat false or true as a numerical value. So I will be counting only those. I will be sum product. So 0 into this would be 0, but 1 into 125 and 1 into 150 is going to make my answer 275. We just put in 2 dashes over here to treat the true or false as 0 and 1. Just something extra I just felt like putting in, but not very useful. Not very useful. But yes, you need to know that true is going to be treated as 1 and false is going to be treated as 0 in all calculations for Excel. Right? So quickly try the sum product formula again and we'll move forward. Quickly try the sum product formula again and we'll move forward. I'm leaving the formula on the screen for you. I'm leaving the formula on the screen for you. So we just put 2 dashes when we are using the first range. We're just putting in 2 dashes when we are putting in the dashes or minus signs when you are using the first range. Quickly try this and we'll move forward. Dashes is so that the true and false is being treated as a number. Are we good till here? We can move forward, I believe. Tell me. Everyone okay till here? Alright, we'll move the next sheet, control page down. Now say for example, you've got the actual cost and you've got the budgeted cost. I've kept the number of lines and all very low. I've just taken 5-7 data points so that it's easier for us to understand. So this is the actual cost that you've incurred. This was the budgeted cost that you had in mind in the beginning of the year. So I think we are going quite overboard in most of the places. Yeah. So if I calculate the deviation, just observe on the screen, be with me. I just do an actual minus budgeted and okay, left control D. Okay, this is not working well. So just a moment. At times it happens that, alright, my formulas, when I applied the formula over here in this file, the formula did not work. The formula did not work. I applied the formula, a very simple formula, actual cost minus budgeted cost. And I got the answer and I did a control D over here, right? And it did not work out. Now at times you will see your Excel files, you go to the formulas tab and you go to calculation options and you see there is a manual selected over here. At times your file might have been saved in this manner or there could be any error. Manual means that every single formula has to be manually automated. So if I go and a double click over here and enter, the formula gets working. So manually you have to change the formula. So over here, the moment I make formula calculations option automatic, all the formulas get automatically evaluated. Now you'd say that this is a very weird function to use. Now just pay attention. I'll tell you the utility of this. It's very important. Now what happens is you're running with thousands and thousands of lines of data. You've got a huge bulky Excel files with let's say 20,000 KB or something. So the file becomes so heavy that Excel tends to hang. In those kind of situations, what happens is, what we actually do is, we will change the calculations to manual, change all the data in Excel. Because you know, the moment you change one cell, all the 20,000 cells based on that formula gets evaluated. And the moment you're changing so many values again and again, Excel is going to hang because the file has become very heavy. So what we do is, we first go to calculations formulas tab, calculation options, and we change it to manual. We change all the inputs that we want to because Excel is not going to do any calculations right now. We've set it to a manual mode. So we change all the input values Once we are done with that, we change it to automatic, and Excel has to do all the evaluation only once. Otherwise, it keeps on doing all the evaluation. For every time you change one value, all the cells which is based on that value keeps on getting re-evaluated. All the formulas are re-evaluated every time you enter something. So Excel tends to hang in those situations. So at times we change the calculation, formulas tab, calculations option to manual, change all the inputs and all the requirements, and then again convert it back to automatic so that it is evaluating all the formulas automatically. Right? So everyone just be with me. Formulas, calculation options and automatic, just do that. Everyone. Formulas, calculation options and automatic, just do that. Formulas, calculation options and automatic, just change that. Is everyone with me? Everybody absolutely comfortable? Sure? Alright. Now, pay attention on the screen please. Everybody over here. Everyone over here. So now deviation equals to actual cost minus budgeted cost. Fine. And then a control D. Now, suppose I take the average of this deviation. So suppose let me take equals to average of these values. It gives me a 0. The problem is because this minus 6 and minus 7 is cancelling off a lot of values over here. So it is giving you an average deviation of 0. But don't you think that the average deviation is not 0? We are not operating at the budgeting cost over here every time. Sometimes there is a deviation of there's an overrun of cost. Sometimes we are saving. Sometimes there is again an overrun of the cost. Correct? So your deviation is not technically 0, but if you take an average, it's going to give you 0. But to do a better analysis, let me use an absolute function. Let me use an absolute function equals to ABS. ABS function is going to give you the number as it is without any sign. So equals to ABS and the input will be this number. And then control D, fill the formula down. You see it's exactly the same numbers but without the minus sign over here. It's exactly the same numbers but without the minus sign over here. So all I did was equals to ABS and select the number inside. Correct? So deviation is actual cost minus budgeted cost. Absolute value of the same is the deviation without the sign. And then I want to calculate the percentage deviation. So absolute deviation divided by the budget is the amount of deviation that has happened. Now you would see there's a 0 over here. There's a 0 because the formatting is deliberately done to 0 decimal place. If you see, Control Shift hyphen will make the number as it is. Control Shift hyphen. So we discussed this shortcut. Again, everyone, Control Shift with the Control Shift. Now if you notice on your number on your keyboard, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is there. Beside 1 there is a dash, there is a hyphen, right? So when you use Control Shift hyphen, it converts the number into as it is, the number as it is. Control Shift 1 will convert the number into 2 decimal places with commas. Since there is not a million or a billion or something figure over here, there are no commas on the screen. Control Shift 2 will convert it into the time format. I'll discuss it in the date time folder. Control Shift 3 will make it into date format. Control Shift 4 is going to convert it into the currency format. Control Shift 5 is going to convert it into percentage format. And that's what I needed. And if you notice, 5 has got the percentage sign, 4 has got the currency on it, and hence the way of doing it. It's very logical. Excel is very logical. So Control Shift 5. So instead of keeping it this way, Control Shift 5. Now normally people would use a mouse, go to home, find out the percentage. I'm also okay, it's here, and click on the percentage sign. It's very time consuming. Is everyone comfortable? And then we will take the average. Now you guys are comfortable with average part? So average deviation is 10%. So average deviation is 10%. So deviation is your actual minus budget. Absolute deviation is ABS of the same. It gives you the value without the sign. And percentage is absolute divided by budget. Quickly try this. I'll give you a couple of minutes. Do this. Do this quickly. Control shift hyphen is for number as it is. Control shift 1, control shift hyphen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Try all the options. Hyphen is the one beside 1, on the left side of 1. That's hyphen. Quickly try this, please. Shortcuts. Everyone done till here? Can we move forward, everybody? Control shift up arrow. So shift down. So control shift up will take you here, then shift down. Control chhodna hoga. You'll have to leave the control button. Everybody comfortable? Can we move forward? So your deviation was actual minus budgeted. Absolute deviation was with the absolute sign, so we get rid of the sign. And the percentage deviation is very simply budgeted the deviation divided by the budgeted cost. And in case you're getting a 0, that's because you need to convert the formatting. Control shift 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just try those, you'll get all your options ready. And in case you're finding hash buttons on the screen, you're supposed to be doing a double click and you're supposed to be increasing the size of your column. Because I think last file someone was having a problem with the round functions, right? So if it's this way, you just need to expand the bracket. One more thing, everyone on the screen, in case all these columns are of different widths and I want to adjust it to a constant width, I can just highlight all these columns together and see every single column will come to the same width. I can highlight all the columns together and then adjust the width. Every single column will get the exact same width in that case. So even in case it is in this manner, you can double click and it will adjust. It will double click and it will automatically adjust, or a better option would be to adjust it yourself. Anyways, is it okay till here, everybody? Everyone is fine? Control page down, we move to the next sheet. Now you would see you have exactly the same data and the same set, the same functions as min, max and average. Alright, before I start with the, anyways, min, max and average. Last function, last file was min, max and average. Over here the function names are min A, max A and average A. May not be very useful, but it's very simple to know. The term A, the alphabet A, the moment you're adding the alphabet A to the function, it means that do not ignore text. I'll show it to you. Just give me 1 second. So when I take the average equals to average of these values, I get a 74.7586. You guys are comfortable with that? You're already done that? Let me take an average A equals to, average A. Let me just show it to you. Just give me 2 minutes and take this value. The average A answer is 71.082. Now what it does is, I'll tell you, it's very simple. Let me highlight this data. Now the summation of the total data is 4336. There are 61 data points over here, out of which numerical count is 58. Right? There is 61 data points over here, out of which numerical count is 58. When I do equals to 4336, that is the total of the data, divided by 58, my average is this. When I do equals to 4336 divided by 61, my answer is this. If you want the textual data, that is the data with nil written over here. Now someone has written nil, it should have been 0. If you want the text to be considered as 0 and then calculate the average, you use the function average A. If you don't want, normal average function is going to ignore all the textual values and it is going to give you the average of the remaining values. The moment you write average A, a text is going to be treated as a 0 and it is going to be used in calculations of average. So the moment count A, it considers textual value. Average A, it considers textual value and gives it 0. Average function simply ignores textual value. Similarly, when I'm looking at a min A or max A, the function is exactly the same. Min A of this range is going to give you a value of 0 because it is not ignoring the nil value. Let me write a min function over here and you will see it will not bother about the nil written, the text written. It will give you the minimum value out of the remaining numerical values. Min, max, average, it will ignore text and give you the minimum, maximum or the average of the number value, numerical values. Min A, max A and average A is going to ignore, is not going to ignore the textual value, rather it's going to be giving it a 0 value and then do the calculations. Is everyone clear? It's very simple, but you know it can make a lot of difference when you're looking at average and average A. So as simple as max A. Max A would not be bothering so much because anyways nil was not under calculation, was not under consideration. Had every single numerical value been negative over here, max A would have given you an answer of 0 because max A is considering nil. But if you would have used a max function and then all the number values were negative, it would have given you the least negative value because that would be the highest value. Min, max, average ignores text, just gives you the min, max, average out of the numerical values. Min A, max A, average A is going to treat text as 0 and then do the calculations. Is everyone comfortable? Try these three very quickly. Min A, max A, average A, it's just a formality. Do this very quickly. Min A में 0 आ रहा है. I showed you with a min. Min A will give you 0. I was demonstrating with a min. So quickly. Are we all good till here? Everyone? Alright. Now, min and max function is going to give you the minimum and maximum value. What if I want to find out the 4th largest value or the 7th smallest value? There are two very simple functions, large and small. Just be a little attentive on screen, I'll give you time to do. Of course, the 4th largest would use a large function. Large function is requiring two inputs. One is find out the large value from these, comma, Now you have to tell it, na, the 4th largest value or the 7th largest or what. So comma 4, that is going to tell it what number largest value. So 4th largest value is equal to 4. The large function will help you getting the 4th largest, 7th largest, whatever you're looking at. The small function will give you the 7th smallest, etc. value. Large function for large, small function for small. And there are 2 inputs. Again, small equals to small. Out of this range, comma, 7. Give me the 7th smallest value. 7th smallest value. In min and max, you were not supposed to be giving a comma 4 or a comma 7 because that was giving you the lowest or the highest value. But now we are looking at the 4th highest, 7th largest, 7th smallest, etc. You'll need to put a comma and a comma 4 or a comma 7 to tell whether you want a 4th largest, 7th largest, what kind of value are you looking at. Is everyone comfortable? Try this quickly, small and large functions. Everyone done till here? Everybody comfortable with the small and large? Everyone? Alright, get back over here please. So the small and large function, practice sheet, you can try it a little later. We'll go to the rank sheet. That's I think the last one over here for this file. Rank sheet everyone. It's not the last file for the day. So rank file everyone. Control page down, you move the rank sheet. Control page down, you move the rank sheet. Everybody over here on my screen please. Alright, now suppose I've got this data set and I want to do the ranking of these cricketers. They've got their scores over here. I want to provide a first, second, third, fourth ranking over here. Now there's a function called rank to do the same, obviously. So equals to rank and I press tab. Equals to rank and I press tab. Now there are 3 inputs being asked over here. First is the number, comma the ref, that is a reference, and comma the order. So let's see how it works. I'll do it 2-3 times, it's a little tricky. So be very careful, be attentive. So first of all, you want the rank of what? I want the rank of this number, comma. Reference, so when you want to do a ranking of first, second, third, fourth, you need a reference out of what? Rank first, rank second, rank of this number, but out of what range? So you need to give a reference. The reference is this one, correct? I'm going to make an error, be attentive, comma. And now you need to give it an ascending or a descending order. Now say for example, if I'm looking at a race and the time that you've used to complete the race, then lower the better. The ranking should be in ascending order. The lowest one should be first, the next highest second, then the third. But when you're looking at runs, the higher the better, the highest to lowest should be the ranking. It should be in the descending order, highest to lowest. So you either type a 0, your descending gets selected. See, you're getting 2 options for that input, either 0 or an ascending. So you either type a 0 and select descending, or you press tab and your 0 will get selected. Now if you go up and down and if you press enter, it does not get selected. Enter is not for selection. Enter will take you to the next cell. So enter is not going to work. You either type a 0 or you press a tab. Enter does not work for choices. Am I clear? And enter. Now I've made an error. Let me do a control D and it will not work. See, the rankings are not coming out properly. Now let me show you the reason. Everybody be very attentive. So this one is telling you, give me the rank of C11, that is this cell, out of this range C11 to C20, that is out of this range, and give it to me in descending order. Correct? Let me go down. Function 2. Give me the rank of this number, but give it to me out of this range. Enter. Function 2. Give me the rank of this number, but give me out of this range. So when you copy paste the formula, your reference range is getting distorted. Your reference range is getting shifted. See, when I'm copying the formula, I want the rank of this number in this cell, this number in this cell, this number in this cell. But do I want the reference to change? No. I want the reference to be absolutely constant. Correct? Everyone? So what I do is equals to rank tab. I want the rank of this number, comma. The reference needs to be this range. Correct? In order to tell Excel that this range is not to be shifted, this range is to be frozen, this range needs to be constant, you cannot meddle around with this range. The shortcut is Fn F4, that is function 4. The shortcut is Fn F4, that is function 4. The moment you type function 4, you would see the range gets free, the range C11 to C20 gets converted to $C $11 to $C $20. When Excel puts a dollar sign over here, that means you're not supposed to mess around with this. And comma 0, enter. In the next file, we are going to discuss in more detail. So don't worry about it. The absolute relative function will come in the next file. And control D, you've got the ranking done. I'll repeat this again. Please be attentive, and I'll repeat it. I'll give you time after this. So equals to rank, equals to rank. Give me the rank of this number, comma. Reference range is this, and I need to freeze it. Now I'll tell you small mistakes which people make. Equals to rank. Suppose I select this number, comma, reference is this number, comma. And now I realized, oh, I forgot to freeze it. Be very attentive on the screen, please. I remove the comma, I press function 4, and you see C11 to C20 did not get frozen. Only C20 got frozen. So these are the mistakes which people make, and then you will not find the error, you will get frustrated. So better than rectifying the error, it is always better to retype the whole formula. In Excel, rectification of formula is more tedious. Retyping will take less time. And be very patient. Try to convert it into your own mother tongue. Okay, equal to sign, then the formula. Okay, I want this out of this. So try to put it in language. You cannot mug up formulas. You have to try to put it in your own language in words. Okay, this is how we are going about it. So suppose what I'll do over here is, again, I'm doing a lot of shortcuts over here. Guys, concentrate. Now, if I want to go left and right, it becomes a problem. Correct? Because left and right is moving across the cells. Again, equals to rank. Be careful. I know the mistakes that you make. Reference range, I forgot to do a comma. So again, backspace. I do a function 4, it doesn't work. Because it is freezing only C20 and not C11. And if I do left right, it will take me to another cell. That's a problem. What is double click for? F2. What is the shortcut for double click? F2. I'll press F2. I will go inside this side. I will do an F4. I will separately freeze it. Come over here, comma, 0, enter. So anyways, we learned the dollar sign. If you're having a problem with the dollar sign, it will be covered in detail in the next slide, in the next Excel file. So for the dollar sign, don't bother. I'll repeat the whole thing again, but just learn the rank function once over here, please. So I'll repeat it last time. Equals to rank, number, give me the ranking of this cell out of this reference range. Just press an F4 after that. Just do it for the time being. I'll do the dollar sign in next file, right? And then comma, descending number, because we want to go for descending, higher the better. So highest to lowest would be the ranking. And then control D, and it works. One more thing. Say for example, if there are two same numbers, how will it work? Let's see. So if I make this 364, you see there are two rank 6. There is no rank 7, and directly we go to 8. So if there are two numbers with the same rank, there are two numbers with the same value, they will have the same ranking, and we'll skip one rank and we'll go to the next one. So I'll leave the formula for rank on the screen. You can just check and try. I'll give you a few minutes. Quickly try this. Are we comfortable till here? Everyone? Done till here? Everybody? Quickly please. Are we done? Can we move forward? Everyone? Everybody? Alright, on the screen please. On the screen please. So now this data is given and there's a simple question over here. So you can try the data, you can try the sum, average, min, max over here. You need to fill it up. Everybody on the screen please. So you've got this data of an e-commerce company and you've got about 8,000 lines of, more than 8,000 lines of data. We need the total quantity, the sum, average, minimum, maximum of the quantity, of the sales, of the profit over here and the shipping cost over here. So for all the columns highlighted in orange over here, you need to calculate the sum, average, min, max. So just a simple, like I'll just show you one example, equals to sum and let's say control shift arrow down. I guess you guys are comfortable with this now, and enter. Now you don't need to type the same formula over here. You can just copy the formula, Control V and Control V. So I'm not going to spend time on this one. You can easily do it yourself. Sum, average, min, max. You can do it absolutely yourself over here. So this one, I want to focus on this question over here. Now in this question, find the top 10 and the bottom 10 sales values. You can use the formula only once for each of these two. The question is, I want the top 10 sales value. That's the largest, second largest, third largest, fourth largest, fifth largest. I want the smallest, second smallest, third smallest, fourth smallest, fifth smallest. But you are allowed to write the formula only once in this cell and once in this cell. Of course, we are going to be using which function? Large and small. But you are allowed to write the function only once. I'll give you, and the data is going to come from this one. So the sales column is where we will use this data. So I'll give you 2 minutes to think and try, and then I will do this. This sum, average and this one you can do it at home later. I want you to try this question over here quickly, and that will complete this sheet. Quickly please. Yes, you are allowed to type the formula only once and you have to generate all the values. Anyone done the formula? Done? Good. Sorry?
So we'll be only using large enough brackets. We have to use the large function and not rank.
Rank is not something will help. That will help. How will rank help? It will not help. Alright, let's see everyone over here. Everyone on the screen, please. Equals to large. Alright, I'll just expand. Just a second. Alright, equals to large. Tab. Now the array. Now if you notice, I'll do a control page up. But if you see, I'm still typing the formula because I've not pressed enter. I'm not yet out of the formula. So even if I'm moving over here, see how it is moving? Data sheet, because the name of the sheet is data, cell G12. So data exclamation G12. That is how it denotes. And I'll select this range. So data sheet, data exclamation mark G12 to G8410. So the data, the whole sales column is selected. I will do a function 4 because the range is not going to change. The sales value will always be this one, comma, page down. Now if you see, I'm still in the formula. I have not yet gotten out of the formula. It's a very simple trick. Observe. I want to find out the top 10 values over here. Large data, the data sheet G12 to G8410 is the sales data, comma, I need the first largest over here, second over here, third largest, fourth largest, fifth largest over here. What if I take this as the input instead of typing 1? When I copy paste the formula below, it automatically is first largest over here. And when I copy paste the formula below, it becomes second largest. Sorry, just a second. It becomes first largest, second largest, third largest, fourth largest, fifth largest, sixth largest. So all I did was, instead of typing 1, 2, 3, 4 manually, I linked that 1, 2, 3 over here because serial number was provided to you already over here. That's all I did. So instead of writing K and question exclamation A6 because of the question sheet and A6 cell, it's the question sheet and A6 cell. Hence this way. Got it? It's a very simple trick. If the serial number is not there, then of course you'll not be able to do it. But instead of manually typing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it's easier to type the serial number. And for serial number also, what I'll do is, everybody on the screen, it's 1. This is equal to cell above plus 1. And then you do a control D and you have all the serial numbers there. Serial number is 1 plus the cell above, 1 plus the cell above, 1 plus the cell above. We'll do relative and absolute referencing in just the next sheet. The next file we'll start is going to have relative and absolute referencing. Are we comfortable till here? And the bottom sales will be exactly in the same manner. Equals to small, array is going to be, now you have to practice these navigation, control shift arrow down. Function 4 is a shortcut to freeze, comma, control page down. This one, enter. Control D. You have to be quick. Control D, fill the formula down. Control arrow keys, quick navigation. Shift highlight. Control shift arrow keys, quick navigation along with highlight. Control page up, page down, moving across sheets. F2, double click. F4, $sign. See if everybody is 100% okay till here. This completes mathematical functions part 2. Try this, see if there is any problem. We'll move to the next file after this.